At the point of this going out, though, embargoes are finally lifted. People are finally seeing your game officially for the first time. So what does it feel like to be in this moment and finally almost be there?
I mean, I'm fired up. You know, the teams have been working so hard on this for so long. I want everyone to know, like, just we've obsessed over the details of Battlefield just to make sure that we get it right. So, the combat, the classes, the destruction, all-out warfare, and for me, I can't get enough of the game in our own play tests and stuff. So it's just for us, it's insanely fun. And then through Battlefield Labs, all the validation that we've gotten through that. So for us, it's like, man, let's get this in the hands of players. So I'm nothing but fired up at this point.
Yeah, it's been, years of behind the scenes work. It's, that moment when you can finally share is just it's terrifying, but at the same time just, like so powerful, so good. The whole team gets excited around seeing the world's reaction, and it's been like so far, like the energy in the room has been amazing. It's been such a great moment for us.
And I know we've seen a lot, and you guys are still going to show us a lot. But if you can, what are some of the key differences that are going to separate this Battlefield from all the others preceding it?
I think we heard a lot of that, and we wanted to be very specific about that. That the focus of it is to get Battlefield right, to do Battlefield better than it's ever been done before. And so that started with like the combat system of building that up from scratch. Like we want this to be the best combat you've ever experienced in Battlefield. And then we know we're famous, people love destruction in Battlefield. So we've spent a lot of time making sure like, man, what's an insane level of destruction that really impacts the fun of the game. And I think for us, I'm really excited for players to experience that, because for us in every playtest we have, there's some outrageous moment or moments in the game where you're just like destruction comes into play. And so for us, there is a spectacle aspect of it, but it's part of the gameplay and the fun of it that just makes it insane. So, the combat, the destruction, like really amping up the classes. Like you heard out there, like Tompin and our core combat team, like they're maniacs with this. Like they just go all out on the gadgets and the class fantasies and so forth. So for me, it's like, man, it's just getting Battlefield right in all those dimensions. And I think if we do that, I think it's one of the most fun games in all of this industry.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think there's a lot of things that Battlefield has done best of class over the years, maybe not all of them together. Our goal is to do as many of those together as we can, and just bring all the greatness of Battlefield together in one package. And, like with the destruction stuff, it's about also predictable destruction, which I think came up in the Q&A today. It's like, it's not about chaos, it's not about randomness, it's about, you need to learn the battlefield and be able to play that in a predictable way and learn how to use it to your advantage. And with randomization, it doesn't really work that way. So it's kind of, the team has just done so much work around finding out a way that enhances the play, not detracts from it. And like the results have been like way better than I think we even imagined.
We'll have to reiterate some of these questions. Obviously, information will already be public. I'm sure you guys already understand that. But when it comes to maps and modes, the basics of the game, can we go over that really quick so people can get a base detail on what's going to be available at launch?
Yeah, sure. So we're gonna have 8 modes at launch and 9 maps. So the modes that we're gonna be launching with is all out warfare. That's what we're known for. That's what Battlefield's famous for. So that's Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush. But we've also added a mode to that suite called Escalation, which we're just having a blast with in the studios. Like it's a new kind of twist on Conquest, but the battlefield reduces a number of capture points, and it just really consolidates the action at the end. It's really really fun. And then we have classic modes with the Battlefield DNA infused in them. So we have Squad Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, and Domination. And I just want, for me, I just want everyone to know, like, our version of Domination, for example, is like, it's with the Battlefield DNA. So, there's so many times where like you're capturing a sector in Domination and trying to protect it. All of a sudden, the walls blow out of it, and it totally transforms the nature of the match. So we're having a blast in those modes as well. And then from a map perspective, we'll be launching with 9 maps. And I think the team's been meticulous with this to make sure that we have the right mix of urban and nature maps, the right infantry maps with all out warfare, with all the vehicles. Like we just want to have the right suite for players.
And this, we're only talking about multiplayer here in this event. So like there's a lot more still to come. And there'll be a lot more coming like in the future. Like this is the start of Battlefield, right? Like we're going to be continuing to develop like as the years come on. It'll just get better from here. So like as a launching off point, it's amazing, and then we'll just get better. And with feedback from the players and the communities, and we'll build this into something that's just next level.
What are some of the key mechanical and or graphical updates that we're going to see with this title, or improvements we've seen from the past?
All right, so as I said, our core combat team, so David Serlin and folks, they're maniacs. And so when we started this project, they just wanted to go all out on combat. Like we just wanted to have the best combat experience you've ever had in Battlefield. And so that's the moment-to-moment gameplay that you immerse yourself in. And so one of the first things they talked about is like we got to have drag and revive. That's a huge element of Battlefield. And the second we put that in the game, you could see it transform the experience for players. Where now all of a sudden you're going out into no man's land, which you may have left your teammate out there normally, but now that you can drag and revive your teammate, it's so much fun to do that. It's so rewarding, and it really keeps that team play. So that's one of the big elements that you may think it's a small detail, but man, it's huge in Battlefield to have that dimension. And then all the others, just going crazy with the combat system, with the gunplay, the peek, the mounting of the weapons, the crouch sprint, all those things, and the combat roll. So much fun when you're diving out of a window and you combat roll right into the action. Like it's just an awesome combat experience. So I'm excited about all that. And then as I said, the destruction's next level. I've been a Battlefield fan forever, and I've always loved the destruction, but I don't think players will have ever seen anything like this. Like the delight that there is throughout the match of seeing the map transform, the surprises of like you think you're hiding behind a wall and all of a sudden it gets blown out or the floor blows out beneath you, and it's just so much fun. Like there's just laughter and delight of all these different things that happen within the match.
Dragon Revive is a good pull. It's a good one. Also, attack sprint's been a huge discussion out there. I don't know if you guys have any updates or details on that, and if not, any like movement we should be looking out for, because all these titles are now switching up on how they want to portray their movement. There's a lot of updates for that. I don't know where that's going in the future, but any updates when it comes to movement?
No.
Gotcha. For when it comes to like long-term fans of the Battlefield franchise, what would be your pitch to them of coming back and giving this title yet another go?
I mean, it is the core DNA of Battlefield. Like I think we've kind of said that, but the combat system, the controls have been refined to such a level that it's the DNA of Battlefield taken to the next level. Like it's a natural progression. It feels so good. It's so responsive. It's like if you've had trouble in the past or you've had complaints in the past, this system like nails it. Like the team has done an amazing job with the combat controls. So.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's made with people who love Battlefield. Like these are people who've been on the franchise for 20 plus years, who just their life is Battlefield, and they want to get it right. And so we spent a lot of time like early in the project of like, man, we've got to get the DNA of Battlefield right. Destruction, classes, combat, all-out warfare. And I was always excited when we were having these conversations, because there's this notion of like, man, I can't wait until the core sees what we have going on with Battlefield. I feel like this is exactly what they've been looking for. And I think with Battlefield Labs, like we've been able to get reps with all of them too. It's just like, man, what do you guys think? Like, do you think we nailed it? And all the feedback we've been getting. So I don't say this lightly. It's been an obsession to get Battlefield right for the core.
Yeah, and that fan feedback has been so important. The lab's feedback has been amazing. It's helped us hone stuff way faster than we ever could have on our own, so that's invaluable.
That was going to be my follow-up question, too. When it comes to taking community feedback, whether it's streamers, creators, diehard players, and whatnot, how does that influence the development cycle heavily, or how do they have hands-on in this experience building the game as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's validating in some respects, right? Like you put something out there, you try something, and to see it work and to see people respond to it well is validating. On the other side of that is, it doesn't always work, right? And so you change things, you dial things in, it's like you can't, without iteration, you can't get to, I wouldn't say perfection, but to the best quality that we have the ability to do. So we need that iteration. The more of it we get, the better we can be.
Can you guys go into a few details on the class system too, and how that interacts with the weapons? In my understanding, and again, very light hands on the game so far. I'm super excited for this, but everyone I've talked to has talked about the class system and how those weapons are also lightly attached to a class, but not fully stuck. So you can pretty much use whatever weapon you like, but there might be some benefits to using certain weapons with certain classes. Do you mind explaining that a bit more?
I guess I'll start from the notion of like, so Tompen Anderson's our creative director for Battlefield. He's been on Battlefield, probably since day one, and he's like an encyclopedia on the essence of Battlefield, and Serlin is like the maniac on combat. So those two, the amount of reps, it's awesome to watch those two operate and talk about classes and the gadgets and how everything works together. I almost wish we could live stream some of their meetings. That they're so fun to watch, and those guys have such expertise. But the notion for it is on the design of the open weapon system is that each class has a signature weapon. So we want there to be a benefit to you playing, like if you're in the recon, like you do have benefits if you play the sniper rifles. But to the same extent, if you love playing recon and you like the gadget set, we want you to be able to play with any weapon that you enjoy. And so I think Tompen's talked about this, like in the past, maybe you chose a class just because of the weapon and you didn't bring all the other skill sets to the team, and they wanted to really fine tune that. So that's the open weapon system. And then we heard through Battlefield Labs and feedback, people are like, man, I really love the closed weapon system. And so we're like, all right, let's do both. Let's let people play the way they want to play. Like, we love the open weapon system. We think people are going to have a blast with it, but we'll also have the closed weapon system too.
You might chirp in on this, so let me know. Any interest in pursuing like a creator program, or is that already a part of the future plans for involving the community at a higher degree?
For us, creators have been essential from the start. Like, our teams have literally traveled the world to get feedback from creators around the world, and we've brought them into the studio. We've had live sessions, one-on-ones. Like, it's been a huge part of it. And then this event for us in Battlefield Labs is the culmination. It was just like, man, we really value the creator community. Like, they're the essence of the gaming industry, and Battlefield's all about that.
Awesome. We'll work it around if we don't. It's all good. Thank you guys for answering regardless. But when it comes to skin bundles, we see a lot of people float in different directions on this topic. When it comes to skin bundles or skin collaborations, is that something we can expect to see with Battlefield 6? All right. All good. That's what you're here for.
Okay.
You guys both obviously come from Call of Duty. Do you guys see this title as competition or a competitor to that, or how do you view that competition outside looking in?
I mean, they've both existed for so long, together. I think they complement each other in different ways. We have things that they don't. Battlefield, the destruction, the class system stuff. Like it's such an amazing experience. It's different. Is it a competitor in a way? Like every other game's a competitor, kind of in a way. But Battlefield is unique and offers things that no one else really can.
I feel like she might interject again, but I have to ask. And again, notice it's not going out until obviously embargo tomorrow, so I don't know if that changes anything. Is there going to be a battle royale mode?
Yeah, it's
After
embargoed
tomorrow,
until
yeah.
after tomorrow's over.
You guys haven't seen what we're showing.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything planned for tomorrow.
We did mention there will be surprises at the end
Which
tomorrow.
people might have thought might be anti-cheat. Obviously a widespread topic too whenever you talk to devs. Any additionals you guys are going after to pursue that kind of thing and make sure, I know they talked about lightly on stage saying of course it's going to be a high focus, but any additionals to add on people concerned about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, it's a weird one because you don't want to talk about what you're doing because it gives, people that are trying to cheat a head start against you. It's a huge thing in the industry, in gaming. It's a constant arms race, that we're always putting a lot of effort into. Know that. It is something that we would stamp out completely if we could. It is an arms race. And we will, to the day we die, we will be fighting it. So.
I think it does. I think the destructibility does live up to the hype. There's a lot of design that goes into it that you hear from the developers, the nuances of it that, you don't want the whole map to be leveled because then you lose all your sight lines, you lose cover and so forth. So it's been meticulous of how to execute the destruction and keep the performance up and keep the map intact. But for me, what I think people are going to delight in is just the the craziness that happens within a conquest match or breakthrough, whatever mode you're playing in, is just, I can't emphasize it enough, that you're running for cover and a tank all of a sudden blows the whole building down, or you're crashing through windows or blowing out floors with C4. It's just, the dimension of the fun for me is at another level. I've never played a game that has that where the destruction is this much fun.
Yeah, I think that's right. And it's about predictability and making, we're not designing a map to be completely destroyed, because that wouldn't be as fun, right? Like, these are people that have spent a lot of time designing something where you can tell what can be destroyed and what can't, and what you can use for cover and what you shouldn't, and where things, destroy around you. Every time you play a match, even though things will destroy in the same manner every time, it's different. Every match is different. Like, I don't think we've ever played a match and said, like, oh, that at the end looks exactly like the last one. There's so much variability in what you can do and where you go, that it works so well, but at the same time it maintains the quality of the map. And that, for us, that gameplay is so important. That quality of play is so important. So
A lot of people out there, myself included, are probably like really curious what a day in both your shoes looks like on a day-to-day. Those details have to be quite interesting. But throughout this whole development cycle, what would you say is like one of the biggest challenges you personally have faced with this title?
that's a good one. I mean, it's not to complain, right? Because it's like, I feel so lucky to get to do what I do every day, right? There's hundreds of people across a 9-hour time zone difference, like, different cultures, different, workflows and different studios, and getting them all to come together, and like watching Byron kind of balance all that stuff together. Like, I'm in awe every day of the ability that he's able to kind of just see across all this and see through all that and hone it together. So like, it's a behemoth, but the results have been just so amazing. Like, we set out to do something, and we're there. Like, like, remember the start of this, and just like sitting down and like talking about like what we wanted to do, the vision, and like to be here where we are today.
I agree. For me, coming here, was to work with Vince again, and to work on Battlefield, for me, it's a privilege. It's an honor. Like, this is one of the most iconic and coolest franchise, I think, in all of entertainment. There's just nothing like it, with the large-scale warfare, all the innovation that this franchise has had. So for me, I would probably say the hardest and the most fun part is living up to the expectations of Battlefield. It's just like the standards that we hold ourselves up to. And so when I look around at the different studios, like, that's what I want our fans to come away with, is like, man, we're dead serious about this. Like, we want to get the combat right, the destruction right, the classes right. And so for me, that's been, I wouldn't say hard, but that's the part that, on a daily basis, like, is it good enough? Is it good enough? Like, can we get it better? Like, are people having fun? Like, do they delight in it, and so forth? So for me, that's kind of all I think about, is like, man, is this the greatest Battlefield game we can make?
And I'll tell you, this guy does not relent on that.
Last closing question for you guys. It's been awesome. One of the parts in the trailer reveal that I saw that looked really interesting was Portal. Obviously, updates coming that way, but when it comes to the whole creative mode or community made maps and modes side of things, is that going to be a strong focus for you guys this year going forward?
Yeah, definitely. We want to raise the profile of Portal. We've always thought it's just awesome to put that kind of power in the players' hands. Like, they're so creative. It's such a great community. And so that was the big effort. It's like, man, can we make Portal more powerful? Can we give our players more tools? So the notion of the spatial editor, the UI scripting, the AI scripting is like, man, with these kind of tools in our players' hands, like, who knows what they're going to come up with. And so that's one element of like, man, let's give the players more power to create things in Portal. But the other thing is like, let's put Portal front and center. And so the idea we've always had is like, man, if people are creating awesome stuff, it goes right on the front end UI next to like the main conquest mode. Like, that we want to celebrate the creations of our players. And then the third element is like, and reward them with XP. Like, give people XP for playing these insane creations from our players. Like, that's just as much fun as a lot of the other parts of the game. So, we want to make sure people are getting progression and things like that. So we spent a lot of time on like, how do we do Portal way better than it's ever been done before. So we're excited. Like, even the stuff that, we didn't show today, but like, there's crazy stuff that our team has put together in just a matter of days. You're like, I can't believe you can do that. that with Portal, and I think our players are gonna surprise us even more.
Yeah, I remember I come from a world where Quake mods, and we would hire people off of like amazing mods that they did on the internet. So I have a secret desire to like find the best of the best and like, target them for maybe they should come work with us.